So we're back here at Filter headquarters, and we got a special guest in the building today.
Alright. This is serious.
Should I start again? That was kind of good. I thought it was kind of good.
No, I thought it was good too. I
thought
just
it was
can't
good
look
too.
at you serious.
Alright. We're back
We
at
were,
Filter.
we were watching.
Stop fucking talking.
Okay,
over
I'm
me.
done.
Alright.
We were watching wrestling like 2 hours ago on your couch, bro.
Yeah, I liked it, bro. So we're back at Filter headquarters with a very special guest this afternoon, direct from Brisbane. Rapper, MC, producer, engineer, mix masterer.
All of that shit.
Nerve, what's going on, bro?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm excellent, fantastic.
Absolutely.
So 2020 just started. It feels like you've had a pretty crazy year already, man, because, you know, I was with you down in Melbourne. We were on the bus to Falls Festival in
Oh
Lorne.
man, that was bad.
And obviously, crazy bushfires going on around in Australia right now. And we're in the 12-seater bus going down on our way to Torquay and got the notification from Falls. It was cancelled.
Yeah, that was rough.
It's a fucked feeling, right? Because it's
Yeah.
just like you amp yourself up for your biggest show ever, and then it's just like, let's go to the Airbnb. You know, it's just a bit weird.
Yeah, well, I had one dude G'ing me up being like, there's gonna be 10,000 people at your set, bro. And I was like, nah, but that would be sick. And then, yeah, it got cancelled and I was like, oh shit, we just paid for a 12-seater minibus and an Airbnb for 3 days. So I just bought a Nintendo Switch and we just got lit off cruises at the Airbnb. It was sick.
The Airbnb was shit, by the way. It
It
was
was
terrible.
so
Whoever
shit.
booked that, like,
Oh my God.
whoever it was, Golly, whoever it was.
No, it was me.
It was you?
So what I
Well,
did
shame
was
on you.
I went to book one and I was like, yeah, this one looks sick. It's like on the beach, whatever. Went to book it and then I booked it and they were like, oh nah. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? So then I was like, oh, okay, we'll get this other one because there was like none there. It was like either this one for 600 or another one for like $3,000. And I was like, fuck it, we just have to book it. So I looked at like one photo and just booked it. And then, yeah, it was in like a half-built estate where all the houses looked the same and everyone was like right next to each other. So.
Yeah, it was a very weird horror movie spec about it.
Yeah,
I didn't really like it.
Yeah, it was
But thanks for
weird.
letting me stay. It was,
No, that's cool.
it was pretty nice of you.
That's cool. Straight up.
But you went to play on the Byron edition of Falls Festival, and that looked really good.
Yeah, that was sick. We broke the floor with the help of Genesis Owusu.
What do you mean you broke the floor?
Like
The crowd broke the floor.
The crowd broke the floor, but we made the crowd break the floor. You know what I mean? I'll take that. But yeah, no, that was sick. That was like massive to be playing that because you know that's why I was like told the crowd. I was like, oh, my first ever festival I've ever been to was a year before that on the same day at the same time with 111 at Falls, and it was sick. And it was mad to be there doing my own slot, you know.
And you played a few charity fundraiser gigs, which was awesome. You know, there was one of you and Baker Boy. There was one of you, Illy and Seth Century. And I think it's pretty interesting that you're getting put on these bills because I guess a lot of your fans would have known you from the grime scene.
Yeah.
You know, so you were doing, you know, your 50-50s and you're fully gassed. And then now it's like, you know, 1 or 2 years later, you're doing shows with kind of, I guess, the more mainstream avenue of Australian hip hop.
Yeah.
So how's it feel like going to those bills and performing to kind of a different audience?
It's pretty strange, but it's kind of cool to be accessing, you know, all different types of people, you know. Like, I got love for both sort of scenes and everything, so I just want to be out in front of as many people as I can be, you know, and like just do my thing, because I think like playing shows with like Illy and like a different fan base is kind of just showing them a different side of things, because like I get along with them, that's why I do shows with them, but I've got a very different style of doing shit. And their crowd are kind of just like, whoa, but like they get it, you know, towards the end they get it, so it's mad.
Is there a process of like convincing them that like this is the shit, you know what I mean? Because they ain't
Yeah.
heard like...
That's kind of like
if you start spinning 140 BPM, they might freak out or something, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, like to be fair, there's not a whole lot of grime in my current set anyway, but it's still like definitely heavier and more hip hop orientated than that sort of stuff. So yeah, it does take a bit of convincing, but I think like towards the end, like generally always starting moshes anyway, so it's like getting people into it, you know? It's mad.
And so let's talk about how you got into the grime scene, because let's not lie, it's a pretty abrasive sound, high tempo, it might be an abrasive crowd and stuff like that, and I feel like your whole branding of, you know, being mama's boy and stuff, it's kind of contrary to that.
Yeah.
So was there an element of kind of like, oh, these guys might not get my branding?
I think like it was kind of before all the mama's boy shit, so it was kind of like Cause I got my name from doing like one takes under houses and in basements and shit. Like I was on some real grimy boom bap shit, so it was a real natural sort of move into grime. And also because most of the grime I did was with Wombat. So it was kind of just the both of us being like young dudes just going hard as fuck. And we were like just all about the music, you know? So when we went to events, we were just focused on going in and doing the set and going hard. And like we kind of started from the ground up. We didn't run in and do any random shit. Like we linked up with the OGs like Smash Brothers and Fracture. So we were always confident in ourselves being in that scene that people would show the respect that we showed them. So it wasn't too bad, you know, like, yeah, we kind of just did our thing and it worked. So it was nice. Like we didn't have too many problems with anyone being a dickhead or whatever. And if we did, it was always like sweet. Like we just sorted it out, you know? So it was like, yeah, it was all G. And then I guess it's sort of evolved slowly, like going from boom bap to grime. I've fully switched up how I produce, which taught me more about both things. And then I kind of just amalgamated it into this big thing that I do now, which I don't even know what to call it, but yeah. Big raps. Big raps,
big bars. So your relationship with Wombat is obviously quite close. So when did you first meet him? Was it like an online thing? And how did you blossom that into such a tight relationship like yours?
That was all through Greeley. So when me and Scrub dropped this video, it was like us doing a one take in like a abandoned warehouse in Brisbane. And I think like 360 shared it on Facebook. And it just got like 80,000 views overnight. Greeley commented on it, and like we were all just spinning out, and then Greeley was like, oh, this is mad, we should link up, let's do a track. So I sent him a beat and got a verse off him, and he's like, oh, I got like this young dude, Wombat, we should get him on the track too. And I was like, sick, send through a verse, and I listened to it, and I was like, holy shit. So just kept making tracks with him, and like we just clicked. Like when we went, me and Golly went down to Tassie, and like he picked us up, and Wombat was in the car. I didn't even realize it was him because I'd only ever seen him with his hoodie up. Because you know, he always had that thing, he always had his hoodie up. So he's like in the car and he like turns around like with his hair out. I thought it was his brother and he's like, oh, EP's dope, bro. And I was like, yeah, mad cunt, thanks, bro. And then like half an hour later, I was like, oh, what the fuck, man? That's Wombat. But anyway, no, we just clicked, man. We were both just so about the music and like no bullshit. So we just made music and just like did it. And then I guess it just all kind of like, that was kind of where we both got our names out there by bouncing off each other, and then we both kind of just did our thing, you know? Like he's still very grime centric. He always had like crazy passion for grime. That's what he started listening to, you know? So I was more into experimenting, and that's how I found grime. But I'm like constantly switching up genres and shit and playing with all different types of sounds. But
you just spat fast and somehow ended up in grime.
Yeah, but like I was like heaps into the production style as well. So I think that was the main thing for me, is like, because I'm producing as well, I got to try out the beats and the rhymes, and like now I just kind of do whatever feels right. Yeah.
And speaking of Wombat, I guess the thing that everyone's talking about is his clash with Mr. Wrighty.
Yeah.
So in his initial send, you know, Wrighty came for Wombat, Chillin' It, Shadow and yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are being like, oh, you know, Chill's not going to reply because he's obviously out there doing his thing. But I think everyone was probably hoping for a reply from, you know, yourself or either Shadow, and then obviously Wombat was the one that ended up replying.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what was the reasoning behind you kind of not replying to that?
To be fair, I think that dropped on like a Thursday. I was out at. You know, I was actually, when it dropped, I was at the Queensland Music Video Awards, and Golly was in the thing for it. So I was out and I was like, yeah, mad, he's in the running for like a music video award. And I look at Insta and I'm like, oh, Mr. Wrighty's tagged me, Shadow, Chill, and Wombat in a video. And straight away I was like, all right, cool, this is definitely like a diss. I can't be fucked listening to this right now. So I just like didn't watch it for like a week, because I knew I was dropping my EP the next day and I had heaps of shit lined up, and I was like, all I want to do right now is focus on my music and like get it out and like whatever. I knew what it was going to be. And then obviously I start getting DMs all over the place, blah, 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 people tagging everything. I eventually watched it and I was like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Like, I don't know. He said some pretty savage shit about Wombat and Chill and Shadow, but it was all quite jovial and for the sport sort of thing. And like the shit he said about me, I was just like, oh, that's actually kind of funny. Like I remember like the thing that he said about like, oh, you look like you're in year 10. I was like, that's cool. Like, that's funny. I don't know. Like, I don't take offense to that shit because, like, you kind of choose to take offense to shit. And I understand that it's part of grime culture, like clashing and like clapping back at people. But like, I was just so focused on my own shit. I was like, I don't even care. And I can't be bothered to, if I send back and I want to clash, that means I got to write fucking like 3 songs worth of lyrics just about this dude I don't even know about how I hate him, which I don't. You know what I mean? And I just can't be bothered, man. Like I spend enough time trying to write my own songs because I'm like, I hate my shit and like, you know, like everyone, like they hate their own shit. I'm a mad perfectionist. It takes me a long time to get my shit right. So I don't want to have to do that for 3 months about some fat dude, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, it was real satisfying going to the clash, man. That was sick.
Yeah, you're in an interesting position because you're obviously there as Wombat's mate, someone who's come up with him, like you said, but you're also kind of the sound guy. So you're kind of behind the soundboard, making sure everyone's mic levels were right and shit, but also kind of cheering on Wombat from a slight distance.
I was trying to stay impartial, man. Like I was there fixing the mics and everything, just like listening. And then like, you know, Wrighty whips out his phone and he starts like, and I was like, oof. And I think
that was crazy when he whipped out his phone.
Bro, I think like a lot of people were just like, there was a lot of people that like didn't, like, cause there were people there that like, I think like maybe like Mark from Saint Side and stuff, he probably hadn't like seen much of this sort of stuff before, I don't know. And he was like, is that okay? And I was like, that is not okay.
Yeah.
That is never okay. And like everyone else was just like, whoa. But for the purpose of having a good time and enjoying it, like no one did anything. Like they just let it happen. But I was just like, whoa. And yeah, it was hectic. And Wombat like went real hard. But yeah, I stayed impartial because I was in the background the whole shot, you know what I mean? Like the camera's pointing at me. I'm just like, yeah, sweet. I'm just doing my thing. But then Wombat started going real hard in the 3rd round and I had to just be like, woo! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was sick. It was good to see. And like during it, I was like, fuck, I could actually probably get around doing something like this. Because it was like mad energy, you know? Because like they were pretty savage to each other leading up to it, but on the day, there was no inkling that anything was gonna like spark up, you know what I mean? It was just like, like I said from the start with Wrighty's send, it was like, this is obvious, like he's being a cheeky cunt, but this is obviously sport. Like he's doing this for fun. He doesn't fucking hate everyone. But yeah, I guess like I just didn't reply because I just didn't feel like it. I don't know. I didn't feel like, I was pretty much just like none taken. I can't be bothered. Like I don't, if someone really disrespected me, you know what I mean? But like, I'm not the type to get pissed off because one person says something about me because I'm like, oh, well, I know I'm sweet, so you can say what you want type thing. Obviously it's like part of it, but yeah. And also like, I know he sat on that thing for like 4 months. Like he sat on that disc for 4 months and I'm just like, bruh. And also like, if he dropped it like a year or 2 ago when I was fully doing grime, fully talking about clashing all the time, yeah, probably would have had to do it or else I would have looked like a shit cunt. But when I'm about to drop Mama's Boy EP, there's nothing on that shit that sounds like grime. I'm just gonna drop that and like do my tour, you know what I mean? Like it would have been fucked trying to juggle falls, tour, you know, all this different shit and then go do a clash. But yeah, I guess that's that.
Wasn't high on your priority list.
Yes. As douchey as that sounds, it wasn't. I just didn't have time for that shit, man. But like, actually though, yeah.
So I guess the grime scene, it's super interesting. You know, whenever I go to a 50-50 or anything like that, there's always interesting characters to run into. So who do you think's some of your favorite characters in the grime scene?
Scotty Hines, mad cunt.
He is a mad cunt.
Has, also mad cunt.
Yeah, Has.
Haz's style is sick.
Bro, Has could spit the fucking samurai sword verse.
Katana.
Over 30 different beats and it would sound better every time.
It gets better every time.
Yeah, it gets better every time.
Scotty's mad, Haz is mad. Like in terms of just like character.
Yeah, just nice dudes. They're all just like fun dudes to be around, you know what I mean?
It's but they're also just like, I don't know, just like, yeah, mad characters. Mad to watch do their thing. Yeah. I love Hosper as well.
Yeah.
He's sick. He's mad. He's a
full
legend.
tracksuits, like
bro.
all the time.
Just like, I don't know, there's heaps of people. I think the whole thing with grime is they actually really, there's a massive focus on like being your own sound and like having your own brand. So I think that comes out really heavily. and you can see like the difference between people real heavily. Like obviously you've got Has, which is like, if he's not original, then who the fuck is? You know what I mean?
He's doing like fucking weird atmospheric R&B now. Like
It's sick.
has a song named after Skis Loren and shit.
Yeah, it's mad.
He's the best.
Everyone's a mad character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in that scene, and that was what was so interesting about it, is like grime was the shit that took me out of my hometown, and that was the first interstate show I did. So like, that was sick. And then I met all these people, branched off, did all these other things, and then like here we are.
I think when people talk about Nerve, you kind of have to talk about No One Network, right? You got the shirt on right now.
Yeah.
So tell us about how Nerve and No One Network is kind of intertwined, because it seems like you guys are kind of synonymous in a way, right?
Yeah, you can't really put a label on it. Like people always be like, oh, is that your record label? Oh, is that your management? It's like, I don't know, it's just like the crew. Golly has done the majority of my videos, like everything that's gotten me to where I am, you know what I mean? Most of that stuff, he's worked on it. And we just started building like a network of people to help us do these things and share the experience with us. And he was like, yo, let's make a brand. Like obviously you want to represent that shit. You want to have shit that your whole crew can rep. So that's what No One Network is, you know? And so we just rep that shit, and it makes it easier to sort of, I guess, brand what we do and like help people who like what we do follow all of us, you know, and it's quite extensive, you know. We've got artists, we've got models, we've got fashion people, we got more videographers than we got rappers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but it's mad. Like, I think when me and Golly started working together, our main thing was like, there's a lot of dope music in Australia, a lot of dope hip hop, but the one thing that was lacking at the time was like the technical quality of how it was recorded and released. Like the audio recordings, the mixing, the mastering, the videos, it was always like not the best. And like our thing was like, let's make that shit fucking dope and let's do it ourselves instead of paying some kind of $8 grand to make us a video clip, you know? So like we've built together, like when I met Golly and I wanted him to do a video for me, I bought him a microphone for his camera so we could do the video, so he'd do the video for free. And then we just kept leveling up. Like we went halves on like a stabilizer so we could shoot all the Wombat videos and like all this shit. So we've just been building up together, and now we've kind of done the thing where we've built up together and now we've found our avenue. Like now I've got management, now I've got a booking agent, now I'm like looking at labels are throwing me numbers and shit. And now he's got like a team of people that want to do videos with him for other artists and shit. So we're like building together, and that's kind of like why it's synonymous, you know, like it's kind of a joint venture, you know?
And you gave him the tagline.
Yeah, Golly on the can.
Yeah.
Golly on the can.
Yeah, best tagline ever. So before your trip to Sydney, you came up this morning, you put something on Instagram and Facebook saying, you know, guys, I'm coming up to Sydney tomorrow. Where should I eat?
Oh shit, true.
And of course, the top comment was,
El Jana.
no, you dickhead.
Brazilian Flame.
No, you dickhead.
What was the top
With the
comment?
most upvotes.
I don't know, I didn't look. Golden
Century.
Golden
no,
Century.
We're going there tonight, but that's not it.
Shout out Forte. Wait, what's
Shout
the
out Forte.
What was the top comment?
The top comment was your fucking quote from Sunday Roast.
Foot long on Italian herbs and cheese, blah, 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 blah. You've heard the fucking song, you know.
Yeah, we've heard the song,
hope,
When's the Spono coming in? Like
From Subway?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I haven't eaten Subway since before I dropped that song, because the last Subway I had, I found a fly at the end of it and I was like, fuck this.
You're a fraud.
At least, I'm not a fraud, bro. Subway's a fraud. They didn't advertise that they had a fly in there and there still was one, you know what I mean? Fuck that.
So what are some of your other favourite places in Sydney to eat?
Brazilian Flame.
It's close to the airport.
Zetland, yeah.
Zetland, yeah.
Golden Century, big one. Went there for the first time at 4 a.m, like fucked off my face. And can't remember anything, but it was sick, apparently. Got to shout out Chippo. Lord Gladstone.
The Lord Gladstone, yeah.
Lord Gladstone, man. Their fried chicken burger, fried chicken biscuit. Their massive palmy. Shout out Benny.
Shout out Benny.
What else, man? Just any ramen spot.
$10 for a kilo of wings at Wednesdays at the Lord Gladstone.
Lord Gladstone Hotel, do it now. Do it or I'll shoot ya. Let's go.
So aggressive.
Yeah. Are you going to shot that or what?
I think you should do it.
I think you should do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Shout out 24 Karat Kev and Filterzine. Do it, you pussy. Oh, come on. Yeah! Shout out Fireball. Hashtag ad.
My
How's
Asian
that?
flush is gonna start kicking in now.
Oh shit, true.
I'm gonna be the same color as like that fucking lid.
So what else?
So obviously the big thing coming up for you, well, besides your own shit, but you got the Aitch tour coming up.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big step for you because, you know, you had the song yourself, Shadow and Yizzy
Yeah.
that dropped
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
And then you got the call up for the official Aitch remix, which is obviously huge because that track was, I think, number 2 on the UK charts.
Number 1.
Number 1 on the UK
Yeah,
charts.
hit
Well, there you
number
go.
1, man.
You did more research than me. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that come about? You know, what was your reaction when you got the call? Because, you know, that's big news.
Yeah, man, I was pretty spun out, to be honest. I just like, when I got told about it, I just did my natural thing and like took it all with a grain of salt because you know how things work. Like you want to prepare for the worst and hope for the best kind of thing. You know, you don't like expect, you don't get your hopes up. But I was prepared to do anything I could to make it happen. So like as soon as I was told about it, I was like, yeah, I'm down, whatever. And then they were like, oh, cool. We'll get the beat. And I was like, cool, wait on the beat, got the beat, had the verse done in like 24 hours. Yeah, got it done and it all just kind of worked.
So can you explain the bar about the cookie and the cake? Something?
People don't get the typhoid bar?
I get the typhoid bar, but I just want you to explain it.
Well, fuck, if you don't get it, look it up, because like...
No,
okay.
I want you to explain it.
Okay, how's it go, bro?
I eat the cookie, not the...
She's saying I'm fly for a white boy. They want static. I'm gonna give them white noise. Ladies love my style. Oi, they be trying to get me on their side. I eat the cookie, not the cake, baby. I ain't catching typhoid.
Typhoid, yeah.
So it's like I eat the cookie,
Yeah.
not the cake.
Yeah.
I ain't catching typhoid.
Is there a chance of you catching typhoid through that stuff?
Yeah, if you eat the ass and you got a chick with typhoid, she got a dingleberry or some shit, she didn't wipe properly.
Dangleberry, you
yeah,
dickhead.
whatever you want to say, bro. You don't wipe properly, man, that's how you get typhoid, bro. That's nasty. I'd eat the cookie and not the cake. Like,
What if it was clean?
I got another bar that said I don't eat the cake even if that shit was bleached. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay, so good to
I
know.
just don't understand, bro. I understand eating the cake, but like, I'm not gonna do that shit if I'm not asked to. And if I am asked to, I'm gonna ask why I was asked, you know? Because,
Well, what do you expect them to say? Like, what's a acceptable answer for that?
I don't know, I like that shit. And I'll be like, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, typhoid bars.
Yeah, thinking back on that, it's like a very strange bar to drop, but you know, it worked, bro. Like, if you know,
Well, we're
you
talking
know.
about it now, so like...
If you know, bro. It's a smart bar if you think about it.
Is it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Typhoid, bro. I feel like people could resonate. What? But do you eat the cake?
No, you should drop a typhoid bar.
Do you eat the cake? Do you eat the cake?
Yeah, let's continue on from that. So I'm having Hefs on a track. That's obviously huge because, you know, himself, you know, 1-4, they were really pushing that drill sound, but obviously he had a dance element to his sound as well. One of the biggest rappers of 2019. I think nobody can argue that.
Yeah.
So having him on a track, and I think you performed it live?
Yeah.
When he came up
When
to
he
Brisbane.
came up to
so
Brizzy, yeah.
how was it kind of linking up with him for the first time after the track had come out and just kind of being like, hey, we're on a big remix together.
Yeah,
you know what I
it
mean?
was-
Like,
it was strange, bro. I think like when he came up for Big Sound, I went and saw his set, and I was like moshing and shit. I was like, fuck it, this is mad, because I'd actually never really checked his stuff out that much. I'd been looped in with him on email one time just about production and shit through How, but never met him. I went to his set, watched it, whatever. Didn't see him after. I was just like, yeah, like he was taking photos of people. I was like, whatever, I'll just like leave it. But he messaged me the next day and he's like, oh, I saw you at the set, like respect. And I was like, yeah, sick. So like we talked on Insta for a little bit, but we hadn't met. And then, yeah, we both just got hit up for that remix. So it kind of just happened. And then when he came up to Brizzy, I was like, yo, let's play that shit. So we did. And when I rocked up to the venue in the green room, and he was just like, I don't know, it was sick. Like he was just heaps sweet. Like it felt like we'd already been mates sort of thing. Like he introduced me to all his boys, like heaps natural, got up, did the track, had a good night, and like whatever.
and I guess for yourself, as like someone, like you said, who's dabbled in grime, to do a track with Aitch and, you know, potentially capitalize on that, UK audience, that's like a massive fucking deal. Because if you ever want to go to the UK, someone or a lot of people might be already familiar with your name.
Yeah,
when you go over there or whatever.
Yeah, that's hectic. I think the UK is like the next stop for Australian artists as well. Well, it depends on your style, but like for me,
Well, I mean, everyone when we were young used to be like, I want to go to America, I want to be in LA, but now it's like, you know, with your Chillinets and guys like that and 1-4 and stuff like that, I think everyone's looking at the UK like a little bit more.
at the end of the day, everyone's just trying to put Australia on the map because like for so long people didn't really take it seriously, but now it's like, I don't know, Australia is kind of mad in the sense that it's like a mad cultural boiling pot, and it's like a small population too, so it's just like boom, everyone's together and you can make whatever you want, and as long as it's dope, just get it out there and like get seen. And there's eyes, like you can tell there's eyes on us, like or across the board from everybody, you know. It's hectic.
And I think when we talk about Australia and, you know, artists branching out to the UK, it's impossible not to mention one person.
One branching out to the UK.
Chazza.
Fucking Chazza.
Fucking like, can I seriously, man, say that like,
He's done a lot.
he's done a lot, he's done more for the Australian scene than any fucking Australian journalist has.
Yeah.
How crazy is that when you think about it? Because it's like, here's this guy that's in the UK, I don't think he's met
He's
anyone
met you. You've met him,
Yeah,
right?
he's met Triple One, but I don't think he's met anyone from the Australian scene besides Triple One, if you consider them part of that scene. But here he is, putting more attention on Australia than any journalist in our own country.
Than his own country as well.
That's
Just
what
a
I
young
mean.
kid from the UK who listened to our Triple J cipher and was like, cricket bars, son! And then it's mad. Yeah, nah, shout out Chazza for real.
Yeah, I think that's huge what he's done. Like,
Yeah.
it's a fucking real accomplishment. Before Australia was, you know, quote unquote hot, before major labels were in here, bookers, publicists, promoters, whatever, he was out there doing reaction videos to fucking Nerve.
That's actually insane, man. Like to think
No,
how
it's
much
crazy
has
when you
changed.
think about it, man.
Like even like, I remember back when we were at like, this is only 2 years ago, man, when like half of the Australian scene at the time is like just camping out at Chill's house and doing shows together. Like you were
Yeah.
talking about it in your interview with Husky, man. Like
Yeah.
we had like 12 acts on the lineup
Yeah.
and like it was like a 300 person show with $20 tickets. If you did that today, that would be like
Fucking
2,000 at like $80
more,
a ticket,
more.
bro, and you would
Chill
sell
could
that
probably
shit out.
Chill's doing 1,300 by himself probably
Yeah,
right now.
and
Triple
it's
One's
crazy.
doing 1,200 by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like
No, it's all going crazy, and it's like mad because I feel like everyone had that vision when we were all together, and we all wanted to do that, and then like people just made it happen. So it was sick. And then like also that's like that scene, but then there's like this whole different scene coming through, and everyone's just kind of, you know what I mean? It's mad.
shout out to Shazza.
Shout out Chazza,
Mad cunt.
big boy Chazza.
Absolutely. So what's on the cards for you? You got the Aitch tour. Single wise,
Might drop a sneaky one before the tour. Sneaky single before the tour with a video. And then just, I guess, like, keep everyone on their toes. Keep dropping different stuff throughout the year. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But I'm going to keep them engaged, you know what I'm saying?
any hints on what that's going to sound like?
The next one's like fun. Like you're gonna want to party to this shit, you know what I mean? But it's like still hip hop, still rap, still doing my thing. But
Didn't sell out. It's fine.
yeah,
Just-
I'm not
no-
a
no one-
sellout, bro. I'm not a sellout. I'm making good shit. Yeah. No, it's just gonna be good. You'll see it when you see it, and everyone's gonna see it.
Any last words for the fans?
Just be yourself, do your thing. If you're honest, you're never wrong. All that shit.
Stay in school.
Wholesome vibes, yeah. Stay in school.
Typhoid bars.
Yeah, typhoid. Typhoid. Eat the cookie. Eat the cake if you want to, but be careful. Clean it. Let's go.
Legend.
Kev,
Thanks for your time, bro.
My G.